the difference between Amari Cooper and Tyreek Hill is not 4 rounds, 3 rounds, 1 round. It's not 4 picks in higher rounds. It's not a first, second, fourth, and versus a fifth. That's not the difference between the two players. He's not that much worse than Tyreek Hill. The number one thing I always saw on social media regarding the Amari deal is, well, this is just, when there's money involved like this, it just goes to show you're not going to be able to get the same compensation. Jeremy Fowler kept putting that out there. This just shows you that when there's money, contracts involved, fans never take into account the contracts. Well, Devontae Adams in this showed that's garbage because you traded a first, a second, a fourth, and a sixth for a guy you had to turn around and pay $30 million a year to. The money does not factor in. The Cowboys got.
And here's the other thing real quick. People kept saying, you see what happens when you keep your mouth shut? That is something I want to figure out and dig deeper into with reporters. I texted a couple ones yesterday, and I'm like, how's it usually done? Do you all think that putting Amari, the fact that we all knew Amari was on the block, did that really affect the Cowboys' leverage? If we didn't hear one thing about it, would they have gotten more back in return? One reporter told me, yeah, I believe so. The other reporter told me, no, everyone figured it out and everyone knew he was going to be available after 2 years, especially at the Combine when everyone gathers around their steak dinners and their red wine to talk. So I'd like to get as many opinions from reporters on that as possible because people are put on the block a lot. There has to be a reason for it.
Deshaun Watson, he still got 3 first-round picks.
Right.
Everybody knew they were trading him.
True.
I thought, the Chiefs here, and I don't know if the Cowboys tried. Maybe they did. Maybe they just took. Maybe there's like any port in a storm, guys. We're just gonna take anything for them. But the Chiefs basically called up the 2 worst run franchises in the league and said, have a bidding war against each other that are in the same division. And one of them, you get the Jets involved, and they're gonna hike up the cost for anybody because they're run like a bunch of nitwits. And the Cowboys needed a team that had a rival that was looking for Amari Cooper, that was desperate for that same thing.
And a lot of the times you are limited. Now it didn't happen with this Tyreek one. It remained in the AFC. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you're limited to half the teams in the league if you want to trade them to another conference.
Sure, absolutely.
So that slices in half your suitors and your offers.
It absolutely slices it in half. But yeah, look, the Cowboys. I thought they gave Amari away too easily. They look kind of foolish right now. When Devontae Adams got 2 firsts and Tyreek Hill got.
I think Devontae. I said 2 firsts. I'm looking at Packers.com. I think it was a first and a second. It wasn't 2 firsts.
Okay, I thought it was 2 firsts as well.
So let's go ahead and just say it out loud. Let's have the discussion as well on the truckwreck.com text line. Fully acknowledging that Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill are in the first tier of receivers and Amari Cooper is not. Is it fair to put Amari on the tier like we would Dak with the quarterbacks?
Yeah, he's in that second tier.
Okay.
I think Amari Cooper is in that tier with he's with Mike Evans, Godwin, just start rattling guys off, right? He's in that second tier.
Yeah.
And that's a great, he's not Hopkins, he's not Adams,
Kupp.
He's not Kupp,
right?
He's not Tyreek.
All right, so let's then just do the exercise. If Devontae, and we're taking the money out, right? We're saying that Amari and his salary not a factor because these other teams traded for the receiver and then paid him. Devontae a 1 and a 2, and Tyreek a 1, a 2, and a 4. Let's just cut it off there. You got your 5th and your 6th. So if it's a 1 and a 2 for both of those guys, I still think Amari Cooper's at least a 4th, not a 5th. Oh my
gosh.
Right?
If Devontae Adams is a 1 and a 2, Amari Cooper's a 2.
Ooh. So the only difference between Devontae Adams and Amari Cooper then is a first-round pick?
A first-round pick is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. If Jamal Adams is worth 2 firsts.
Well, he wasn't, though. They made that mistake.
No, I know, but
In our value, he's
in
not.
our value, he's not. But in the NFL's ridiculous value world, he might be. What the heck is Amari Cooper worth? I mean, Sam Bradford got it first.
Here's my worry, and then we'll get to the texts. In terms of all those different issues, Amari compensation, can it be compared? Should it not be compared? Do the Cowboys' mouths cost them in that situation? My concern is, did the Cowboys misevaluate the receiver market? I think the wide receiver market it's not the top story of the offseason. It's the quarterbacks moving, but it's number 2.
Yeah, the league is telling you that the wide receiver is clearly the second most important position on the field. And the Cowboys are operating like it is the linebacker. They're operating in a completely different world.
That's what worries me.
Yeah.
Did they know and did they see? Because I think the Devontae and Tyreek deals came out of nowhere. Did they know, and Christian Kirk, did they know and did they see that we were going to mid-20s and $30 million a year? Because Amari Cooper, forget about what you got back for Amari. You can be mad about that. I'm mad that Amari is only making 20. It's the more and more we go on here, the better value that's going to appear to be.
Yeah, they completely misjudged the market.
That's what I'm worried about, that they misread it, they misjudged it. They did it on Dak. Now, I'm guilty of it too. I agree with them. Wait, I'm not fully buying this as a franchise guy. I don't know if this is someone that can carry you. I still have that concern. I changed my mind on it in the first half of last season, and then the second half of the season, I was back to where I was. I was like, oh my gosh, is this a franchise guy? But they waited too long, and it burned them. It cost them more money, and I'm worried that they're misreading the receiver market as well with what these guys have gotten and what they're going to continue to get.
Yeah. I mean,
Amari at 20 a year?
Steal. At this point, it's a steal. It just is. And the way that people are saying this on the truckwreck.com text line, it's quite simple. This is, other players are saying this is the best route run in the league, and he's only worth a 5th round pick.
And someone, Atolo, countered and said, you can find route runners, you can't find grand slam threats like Tyreek.
But he's not Tyreek. We're not saying he's Tyreek.
Yeah.
We're not saying that at all. He's not even close to Tyreek Hill. But the difference between Tyreek Hill and Amari Cooper is not essentially a throw-in draft pick versus a 1st and a 2nd. That's not the difference.
It's closer.
Yeah, there is no non-quarterback that is worth that much more than Amari Cooper. That is worth 4 rounds on one pick and 3 rounds on another. There's just not. You're getting.
Someone would probably give that up for Donald.
Yeah, but Donald isn't that much better than Amari Cooper. He's not worth. I would not trade. I would not give you Amari Cooper and a 1st and a 2nd for Aaron Donald.
Amari Cooper, a 1st and a 2nd for Aaron Donald. Okay.
I wouldn't do that. If you were going to make, just wide receiver, I wouldn't do that.
Let's kind of put it on a scale 1 to 10. Amari is a what?
I'm assuming Tyreek is a 10.
Devontae's a 10.
Yeah, and Tyreek
9.5, 10. And Amari is 7.5?
7.5, 8, somewhere in there.
All right. 8 max.
He's a tier 2 receiver. He's a tier 2. He's in that same category with, not quite. I don't know. Is he? Justin Jefferson might be in that tier 1 at this point. But Evans and Lockett and Godwin and Mike Williams and, CD. There's a million guys out there. He's in that. He's not tier 1. Tier 1's 4 or 5 guys.
Field Yates, ESPN. The Browns' decision to trade for Amari, who is under contract for 3 more years for a total of $60 million. That's what really stings. If Amari's deal was up, that would make it a lot easier to deal with. But he is under contract. 3 more years, $60 million total. And moving back just 38 spots on day 3 of the draft looks like a massive steal right now. Field Yates talking about the Browns situation.
Of course it does.
You got to be thrilled if you're Cleveland. You got to be pissed if you're Michael Gallup and his agent. Man, did they strike at the wrong time. They signed right before Christian Kirk. Now, Devontae and Tyreek, we're going to have, I don't think, anything to do with Michael Gallup, but the wide receiver market is the second biggest story, I believe, of the offseason. And did the Cowboys give away one of the better values in the league for his ability? That's the question.